Pablo Escobar, also known as the Boss, is often considered the world's greatest trafficker. At one point, he was responsible for 80% of the smuggled globally.
A guy by the name of Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. He had his own little empire going in Colombia at this time.
At the peak of his power, Escobar brought nearly 15 tons of into the United States every day. This was worth almost €500 million. Escobar didn't just run a massive empire. He also had a deadly army of assassins who carried out his orders without question.
He had a lot of judges who were against him killed. That was his fight, trying to show Colombia that he was tougher than Colombia.
These killers were called sicarios. Among the most infamous were Popey, Laika, and Pinina. If you've watched the popular Netflix series Narcos, you may already know about their chilling stories. Today, we're going to explore what happened to these cold-blooded killers and the reasons behind their violent lives. Prepare yourself for a dive into the dark world of Escobar's notorious associates. Number 1. Laika. Laika, whose real name is Dandeni Muñoz Mosquera, is often regarded as the most brutal of Pablo Escobar's assassins. Dandeni entered the dangerous world of the Colombian War after joining the Colombian army. However, he was soon kicked out due to a series of petty theft charges. This led him to the infamous Medellín Cartel, where he earned the nickname Laika, meaning fat girl, because of his resemblance to his aunt. Rising quickly through the ranks, Laika became an expert in torture and earned Pablo's trust as one of his top hitmen. He also played a key role in shaping Pablo's army of killers. He ran a training camp where street kids, often boys but sometimes girls, were groomed to become ruthless assassins. Laika was particularly notorious for his brutal methods. After killing his victims, he would carve the initials KK into their bodies as his grim signature. Rumors linger that he skinned some victims alive and even castrated others. Laika's descent into violence is unexpected, given his humble beginnings. His father was a policeman, and his mother was an evangelist. He had ties to the church during his early years. For a long time, the US sought to capture him, but they were limited in their actions due to lack of jurisdiction. This changed dramatically after the bombing of Avianca Flight 203 in 1989. Pablo Escobar often made bold statements through violence, and in this case, Laika was hired to plant a bomb on a plane, leading to a mid-air explosion that killed all 101 passengers, including 2 American citizens. This act brought the full weight of US law enforcement down on him. Laika became the first person convicted under a federal law from 1956 that criminalized bombing a civilian aircraft. He was also the first prosecuted under a 1986 terrorism statute, which allowed the US to try foreign criminals for the deaths of American citizens. The US linked Laika to 220 murders, while the Colombian government attributed more than 440 killings to him, though they never formally charged him with those crimes. He was captured and put on trial in 1994. Found guilty, he received a staggering sentence of 10 life terms and an additional 45 years, all to be served back to back. Today, Laika remains in prison, in the same facility where the notorious Una bomber was held. In a surprising twist, he denied all charges in a prison interview. Number 2. Pinina. John Jairo Arias Tascon, better known as Pinina, was one of the most feared hitmen for Pablo Escobar. Born in Medellín, Colombia, he quickly climbed the ranks of the Medellín Cartel. His rise was fueled by his ruthless nature and fierce loyalty to Escobar. Pinina was notorious for his brutal tactics. He had a sharp mind for strategy, which earned him the responsibility of overseeing the cartel's security. He orchestrated many assassinations and played a crucial role in attacks on government officials and rival cartels. He didn't hesitate to eliminate anyone who threatened Escobar's power. During the late 1980s and early 1990s, Pinina was key in the bombing campaigns that terrorized Colombia. His reputation for violence made him one of Escobar's most trusted enforcers. However, his reign ended abruptly on June 14, 1990. Pinina was killed in a fierce shootout with members of the Colombian National Police's search block in Medellín. His death was a huge loss for Escobar. With Pinina gone, the cartel lost one of its most effective operatives. Today, Pinina is remembered as one of the most infamous assassins in the history of the Medellín Cartel. His life serves as a chilling reminder of the brutal drug war that ravaged Colombia, leaving a deep mark on the nation's history. Number 3. Popey. Popey might sound like a cute character, but the reality is anything but charming. His real name is John Jairo Velasquez. He earned the nickname Popey because of his prominent jaw, which he later had surgically corrected. His story begins in Yarumal, a town in Antioquia, Colombia. Surprisingly, he was once part of the Colombian National Army before joining the cadet school of the National Police. It's shocking to think that a hitman like him started out in an organization meant to protect the public. At first, he trained at the School of NCOs of the Colombian Navy, but after just one semester, he transferred to the National Police Academy. Wherever he acquired his skills, they enabled him to claim he killed 257 people. That's the number he admitted to. Imagine how many others he might have taken down without confessing. Popey was notorious for his kidnappings too. He targeted ordinary citizens, but his most infamous act was the kidnapping of a mayoral candidate, Francisco Santos. He didn't stop there. He also kidnapped and murdered Carlos Mauro Hoyos and several other well-known politicians in Colombia. His case illustrates a chilling truth. Wealth and influence offer no protection against the brutality of Escobar's hitman. Now brace yourself for this unsettling fact. Popey arranged around 3,000 murders. Yes, you heard that right, 3,000. This man was a master planner of death, making him a truly terrifying figure. So, where is he now? He's dead, buried, and gone. He no longer walks this earth. Although he was a ruthless killer, he also had a peculiar charm. In a revealing interview, he nostalgically recounted his first kill at the age of 17. Driven by a twisted sense of justice, he murdered a bus driver who had caused the death of a close friend's mother. In the same interview, he talked about how he first met Pablo Escobar. Remarkably, he had worked for Pablo's mistress. When she left Colombia, he sought out Pablo for a job, leading him down a dark path. Between 1992 and 2014, he spent time in prison, serving a 30-year sentence for murder, extortion, terrorism, and drug trafficking. He was released in 2014.
One of Pablo Escobar's most notorious hitmen has been released from prison after serving 22 years of a 30-year sentence.
But soon found himself back behind bars for extortion once again. Some habits die hard. Popey's life was a cycle of incarceration until he ultimately succumbed to stomach cancer. During one of his brief stints outside prison, he even started a YouTube channel, sharing his stories as a cold-hearted killer. In his own words, he claimed there was an 80% chance that a former gang member would kill him one day. It seems even the most ruthless killers are not immune to the grasp of fate. Do you think the Netflix show told the entire truth about Escobar and his sicarios? Let me know in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to check out more videos we've made for you, click on one of them on the screen or check out the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.